All right, now that we've wrapped up with cost book, let's go ahead and take a look at the manage fleet section. Now, managing your fleet is going to encompass a couple of different things. You can look at your vehicles, you can manage users, event notifications, sorry about that, reminders, and locations. If you'll notice on the right-hand side, you'll also be able to get to vehicles, users, locations, event notifications, and reminders. These are the most important things that you're going to be using when it comes to managing your fleet and making any changes, things of that nature. So let's go ahead and get into this. First things first, we'll go ahead and click on vehicles, right? So a couple of different basic things here. Number one, when you bring this up, it's going to bring up a list of all the different vehicles you already have on the platform. Now, if you ever need to go ahead and get rid of a vehicle, all you have to do is hit the little trash can here. If you need to make any edits to a vehicle, in other words, something just needs to be updated on it or whatever, all you have to do is hit the edit button and you can make those changes. Now, if I want to go ahead and add a vehicle, very easy. Let's just say we don't have any vehicles on the platform right now. I need to add my very first one. All I need to do is click on add a vehicle. What I'll do is I'll give it a description. I can say it is a 2020 F-150. It is a light duty vehicle. License plate is Texas 123. We can go ahead and assign it to a site. If we only have one site, we'll leave it there. If I have a driver that I want to associate with this, I need to make sure my drivers are in first. I can go ahead and select a driver, and then that'll be that driver's vehicle. Whatever I put right here, where it says vehicle description, is what's going to show up when I go to live tracking. I'll come back to this. When I go to live tracking, and what I see right here, Alex's car, FM 3001 TNAK, that is exactly what is going to be, you're going to be typing in the section here for vehicle description right here. So whatever I put here is what's going to show up on that part right there. The other thing to do is put in make, model, year, and that's it. That's the only thing you have to do. After you put in the make, model, year, vehicle description, license plate, and vehicle type, all you do is hit the little green checkbox there, and your vehicle will be added. Now, at that point, you'll have to register a device to it, right? And we can get to that in a little bit upon setup. The other thing we're going to take a look at under managing your fleet is going to be users. Now, users is exactly the same as vehicles, right? It's going to give you a list of all the people who are signed up to have an account here. When I need to add a new user, well, let's get back to that. If I need to delete somebody, say somebody leaves the company, all I have to do is go find them, hit remove, and that's it. If I need to edit some information, all I need to do is do this piece right here. So all I have to do from here to add somebody new is hit the plus sign. You'll need their first name, last name, their email address, a mobile number. When you're putting in the mobile number, here's a MiX pro tip. Mobile numbers are done with a +1 in front of it because we are the United States and our country code is 01. So for instance, my cell phone number is +1, and then you'd put in your area code and your number there. And that's exactly how it does it. There's a little example right here that shows you what you need to do. So if you ever type in your phone number and it's not working, just remember you need to do the +1 in front of it, okay? Language is gonna be English, United States, and then access. This is a very important thing to look at. So there's 4 different types of access. There's mobile access, which you can give to your drivers. That way they can access the mobile app. They can make updates to trips. They can go ahead and put fuel in, capture any costs, things of that nature. There's basic access, which is what you can log on to the into the client inside of a PC or a tablet or whatever the case is and just look around. There's admin access, which is exactly what I'm showing you, which means you can add drivers, delete drivers, set up notifications. You can do anything you want. And then there's admin with billing access. So think about it this way. The only difference between admin access and admin with billing access is whoever has admin with billing access has access to the credit card on file. That's it. That's the only difference between the two. So if I'm the owner of the company and I have a fleet manager and they're going to be using the software, but I'm paying for it, I'll give them admin access. They can do anything they need in there except get to the credit card information. So that's the easiest thing there. When you're going assigning to a site, you would let them know what site you're going to assign them to, and that's pretty much it. You hit the green checkbox here, and it'll go ahead and add the new person to your organization. Let's get back into managing your fleet. So we've gone through vehicles, users. Let's go ahead and talk about event notifications for just a second. Oops. Give me 1 second here. home button, click on event notifications. Sorry, my mouse is being crazy today. So I have a couple of different ones set up already, right? So anytime you have a notification set up, it'll give you the notification name, and it'll go ahead and tell you what it's for, what vehicle, how many times it's happened, all that kind of good stuff. So let's take this one for example. If I want to add a new notification, all I need to do is go ahead and type, how do I want to be notified? Either email or in-app notification or both. What's this notification going to be called? We'll go ahead and call this one fixed speeding. I can go ahead and select one vehicle. I can select all the vehicles, doesn't really matter. If I want to call this one speeding, I'll go ahead and hit fixed speed. And now anytime any of the vehicles go over 75 miles an hour, you'll be able to go ahead and see as they come in. You'll be notified in real time as they exceed that speed limit. All you need to do here is click the save button. Once you hit that save button, that event is set up. Now let's get into the geofencing portion of this for just a second. So let's just say there's a few different ones we can take a look at when setting up events for yourself, right? So we have speeding, which is a fixed speed, and that just means you don't want any of your vehicles ever to go over a certain mile an hour. The road speeding portion, this part's being eliminated, and the reason behind that is road speed just isn't something that anybody does really great until we can put it out and make it 100%. We don't want to have anything out there that's just going to cause any false errors. So it is coming. We added it to the front end. We just need to fix it on the back end, and then we'll release it eventually. Harsh acceleration, harsh braking, harsh cornering, excessive idle is only available for professional install. This isn't something that's available on a plug-and-play device. Power disconnect, power reconnect, these are only available as well on the professional installation. Location entry and location exit, started in, stopped in, duration at, and movement between. These are all based on geofencing. So let's just say, for instance, I want to know when my team got to that location. I could just set up location entry. I would go ahead and select the location, and all the locations that are popping up are what I've already created in the geofencing. So when I remember back in tracking, then I went over to locations and I had a list of everything, same list here. So I created a new one, apartment complex customer. So I click on that one. I can go ahead and say, I need to know anytime anybody gets into this location. And anytime anybody gets to that location, I'll get a notification and I'll know what time that they got there. I want to know what time they left that location. I can go ahead and put the same thing in. If I want to know how long somebody spent, if they're spending too much time at a location, I can put that in also. So think about it this way. Here's a MiX pro tip. If you know that when you guys are getting to a location and you know the job is supposed to take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, I can go ahead and set this up for, let's just say 120 minutes. If the team is there for longer, if I don't get an alert that they've left that location prior to 120 minutes, I'm going to get another notification, and it's going to let me know that my team's still on site. Well, you know what? Maybe they're having problems. Maybe I should check in on them. Maybe I should say, hey, is anything going on? It's always good just to kind of get an idea of what's happening down there. The other thing to take a look at is going to be your started in locations and also stopped in locations, and then movement between. When you look at movement between, think of it this way. Are the assets or your vehicles, are they allowed to be used outside normal business hours? So it's a good way to kind of find out if anything's happening outside of when it's supposed to. Also help prevent theft prevention, things of that nature. If you know for a fact your vehicles are parked from, let's just call it 9 p.m. and you know that they don't get on the road until, let's just call it 5:30 a.m. And I can go ahead and select on Mondays, Tuesdays, and select all the days that this is applicable for. So now, if I ever get a vehicle, and I select my vehicles in the same spot right here, if I ever need to select a vehicle and it's moving between the hours of 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. Monday through Friday, I'll get an alert as well. There's a bunch of different applications you can use geofencing for and the alerts that are coming up on it, right? Other thing to take a look at is going to be getting into your reminders, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the home. Let's discard this. We'll get into reminders. Now, reminders can be for two different things. We can set up reminders for either a person or an asset. Any reminders you already have set up will show up here. If I need to add a new reminder, I just hit add reminder. Now, is a reminder for a vehicle or a user? If it's for a person, or sorry, for a vehicle, you select what vehicle it's for. What's a reminder type? All these reminder types, here's a MiX pro tip, all these reminder types are 100% customizable. So whether it's a reminder for preventative maintenance, licensing, certifications, OSHA certifications, annual physicals for the drivers, insurance reminders, whatever the case is, whatever you need to be reminded of, whether when it comes to servicing or just being compliant, you can put the reminder in here. So let's just say that this one's going to be an oil change, right? It needs to occur every 3 months. The next due date is going to be 3 months from now. So we'll go August, September, October, and we'll go towards the end of the month on the 29th. Remind me 2 weeks before that day. Now, if I need to do it on distance, I can also put this up. So it'll be whichever happens first, right? Occurs every 5,000 miles, next due at 15,000, and remind me at, we'll just call it 14,500. So I'll get an alert at 14,500 or 2 weeks before 10/29/20, whichever happens first. And I know that this vehicle needs to come in for some preventative maintenance, or I need to get an inspection done on it, or the insurance is due, or I need to put the new insurance cards. Now, when we get to the actual users, this is the same thing. You select the user, you select what person it's for, and then the reminder type. It can be licensing, continuing education, whatever the case is, and this is all based on time. The only other thing that managing your fleet will bring up is locations, but again, whenever you want to manage your locations, you can just go to tracking and click on locations here, and it'll bring you right to it, or you can go to the home screen and click on locations, and it brings you right back to it. It's just the geofencing portion of it. The other thing to take a look at is going to be when you're doing this is just make sure if you ever get lost, like I said, if you ever don't know where you're at, or if you're unsure, always come back to the help button. And the help button will be able to help you out with any questions you may have. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. If not, I will see you in the Manage Company section.